I'm Tommy Christian, the owner of TCBOOST, and this video is for our tennis players. I want to talk about how we can assess movement and speed, really specific to the sport of tennis, how we would measure that objectively and why it matters. So we're going to go through a few things right now of what we do in a tennis movement evaluation here at TCBOOST. All right, so in our tennis assessment, when we talk about speed, what we really care about in tennis is more of burst and acceleration. So it's short area speed. It matters to the sport of tennis because you've got to cover ground on the court, and it's not just one or two steps. Oftentimes you're going to have to sprint 4, 5, 6 steps even. And so to have a good assessment on acceleration, we use a test we call the 5-15 test. We have a gate. If you look over here, there's a gate at 5 yards, there's a gate at 10 yards. And this is the assessment that we do. We start here 5 yards away from the first gate. Athletes go out of a 2-point stance, and it's just a pure sprint. It's a 15-yard acceleration. It's a sprint. So it's a great way for her to assess that acceleration part of training, and we want to see you as a tennis player improve in that because it's going to make a difference in your court, in your play on the court, because you're going to be able to get to better positions, and being fast and acceleration matters for tennis. All right, tennis players, when we talk about agility on tennis, we're really looking at the ability to accelerate and then decelerate with control and then explosively redirect. Think of like going to the corners on the court and being able to get back. So the assessment that we use is a timed 180-degree cut. It's a simple test, very effective. We do it both for a left leg outside leg cut and a right leg outside leg cut. But we run the test just like this. We have a line here, we have a gate at 5 yards, and then there's a line 10 yards away. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprint as fast as I can through the gate. I'm going to hit the line 10 yards away and sprint back through the gate, and it's going to give me a time. It'll be a good assessment in my ability to carry speed into a cut, quickly decelerate, and change directions coming back out of the cut. So it looks like this. This assessment is specific to our tennis players. We do what we call a recovery crossover step test. Recovery step's really important. Sport of tennis, how effective you are in the recovery step will determine how well you can get back into position on the court. This is how we assess it. We have a gate set up here on the yard line. 5 yards away is the line that we're going to. The athlete will step into the beam. When the timer goes solid, we can take off. We're going to go crossover, shuffle, hit the line, crossover, shuffle, hit the line. We're going to do that 3 times. So I'm here, crossover, shuffle. Okay. The next test that's part of our tennis assessment is really an assessment of your power relative to your body weight. And it's an indicator for us of whether you might need to really focus on more strength, especially lower body, ability to generate power there, might be the limiting factor in your movement on the court. So tennis, we're not as concerned about what your vertical is as much as using a vertical jump as an assessment of your power ability specific to your weight. So it's just here, electronic jump mat, everything is very accurate. You're going to step on the mat, you're going to jump as high as you can, land, and then you get your number. So that's the vertical jump that we do in our tennis assessment. So the last test in our tennis assessment is what's called the Reactive Strength Index test, or an RSI. And this is a common assessment across multiple sports that assesses your plyometric ability. Think of it as how fast you can generate force at ground contact. So we're trying to minimize time on the ground, maximize time in the air, and it carries over to tennis because when it's all about being able to be quick and stick your foot in the court and move, you have to be able to store that energy and release it really quickly. And your ability to be plyometric will determine really a lot of how quick and reactive you can be on the court in your movements. So the test looks like this. You step on the jump mat, hands on your hips, and you're gonna do 4 jumps in a row, and you're trying to maximize your time in the air and minimize the time on the ground. So it's just like this. So that's it on the TCBOOST movement evaluation. Wanted you to get a feel for the things that we're going to assess, and we look forward to having you in to be able to see where you're at. If we know where you're at, then we can set a good path and a plan for how you can improve. And the important thing is the things you do when it comes to movement and speed have to connect to the sport of tennis. It has to make a difference in how you play on the court. Our goal is that you feel a difference, your opponents notice a difference, that your parents notice a difference, that your coaches notice a difference, and that it really makes a significant impact on the trajectory of your career and your success and your enjoyment in the sport of tennis.